in the past, I've built 4 different bikes that I've just imagined up. 2 of which I have recorded on this channel. The first one being the Funk Bike, which is a scooter and a little kid's bike smashed together using rope and some electrical tape. You couldn't pedal it, you had to scooter it around like a little toddler's bike. And then the second one, which was the Funk Bike 2.0, was a mullet bike, single speed. So it had a 26-inch wheel in the back and a 27.5 in the front. And I built it using just spare parts we had laying around in the shop. And so it was missing some like ball bearings, and none of the parts were necessarily put on correctly. It was also a single speed, but I didn't have a single speed conversion kit, so I just used a cassette in the rear and then shortened the chain enough so it would stay taut and not move around on the bike. I just found one gear that worked, or that was the straightest. I rode that bike around for a while just because it was a fun thing to ride. And now we come to this bike build, and I don't really know what to make of it. So I have this penny board, you've seen it on the channel. It's this green penny board. I upgraded the wheels on it. I call it the watermelon because it's got red wheels and a green board, you know, red and green are a watermelon. Anyway, I have always wanted to make it so that I can ride on top of it, sort of like a bike. And I had this vision where it would be this little like bike thing on 4 wheels that I could like ride down these hills that are close to where I was living at the time. And so I just started grabbing stuff and putting it together. What I did is I took a tiny, I think it was like a 24-inch wheel bike frame, took everything off it besides like the handlebars and the front fork, and attached it using rope and electrical tape to the penny board. And I also used part of a scooter. It was like this round tube. I took that and I hammered, sounds crazy, I hammered it on a rock. I flattened out the piece of metal so that I could stick it onto the bike frame to keep the front end straight so I couldn't turn it left or right. During these moments, I sort of go crazy and just focus on achieving my goal of building whatever I have in my head. And I wasn't really worried about safety precautions or even if this was gonna work. I just wanted to see if I could bring my idea to life. And I have to say, for the resources that I had, it turned out pretty cool.
Oh boy.
I wouldn't say it was the most sturdy thing in the world, but I was very surprised at how well it turned out. The center of gravity was too high on the bike due to the frame, and also my weight was almost completely on the rear wheels, so I had no weight on the front, and so I kept on wheeling it.
Come on!
It was just not fun. I almost crashed multiple times, but somehow I was able to save myself. And somehow I forgot to put a place for my feet, so I was just sort of figuring that out as I went. The furthest I went was probably like 20 feet maybe, but for that 20 feet, it was pretty awesome.
There we go. Whoa. Whoa. Ah! Here we go!
And thinking back on it, you know, it wasn't the best built thing. It didn't really work all that well, but what was neat about it is that I took an idea from my head and was able to put it into reality. And mind you, I did that in an evening, like less than 3 hours. I was able to take an idea from my head and turn it into a physical object that I could more or less ride. which is really cool. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please check out my Patreon. If you'd like to help support this channel, it would be much appreciated, even if you're on the free tier. Alright, I think that is all I have to say. Thank you guys for watching. As always, my name's Ben, and this is Bad Bikes, and I will see you in the next video. God bless. That is so sketchy.